Okay.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Thank you all for coming. It's 5 p.m. My name is Dave Moore. I'm the chair for the Black Canyon Water Improvement District. I'd like to call the Black Canyon City Water Improvement District regular board and public budget / rate hearing meeting on Tuesday, May 28, 2024, being held at the Black Canyon City Public Library. Our first order of business is roll call. Again, I'm Dave Moore, chair.
Randy Urbina, secretary.
Dorothy Moore, treasurer.
Jed?
Jed Carter, vice chair.
Jed Carter, vice chair. Okay. We have a full board, and from management, Sarah and Donna Lisa Chandler. Management, Bob Hannes and Joe Thompson. Joe works for Bob, and Bob is management of all operations. And from the public, Tony, would you introduce yourself, please?
Oh, I'm Tony Chandler.
Carol Batdorf.
Carol.
Elaine. Frankie.
Greg Watts, owner user.
Cindy Melandro. Eva Burst.
Excellent. Thank you all very much for attending. Agenda item 2 is our customary reflection time. We'll have a moment of silence here, please. Thank you. Agenda item 3 are board member reports. Any board members have any reports? Mr. Carter?
No reports.
No reports. None from either of you two? Okay.
No, I don't have it.
I have the posting of the March approved minutes that were approved at our April meeting on the website. And I've posted on the website tonight's agenda as well as on the Facebook pages. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say is in the back of the room are these cards. We have kind of a really, it doesn't look like it's too overloaded, but it is because of the topics. But we should be able to get in at least one question or comment from the public. We streamline these so you don't have to do much. Just put your name on it. Check a couple boxes. And if you want to speak, I'll call on you, and that's it. Put them right here. Just like that. First come, first serve.
If we refuse to do that, we can't talk. Like public call. We can't talk if we don't fill that out.
I'm not saying you won't be in queue. If you don't want to fill it out, great, don't fill it out.
Okay.
It's up to you.
All right, I'll read it.
You want to? Oh, I think we have.
Don't be such a rebel.
Absolutely not. Okay. Agenda item number 4 is the approval of the April 23rd, 2024 regular board meeting minutes. All board members received a copy of the unapproved copy. Jed, have you had time to go through it okay?
Yes.
Yes. I have. Dorothy, you okay?
Yep, run through.
Did you have any corrections or errors that you spotted?
Nope.
I didn't either. It was a really good job.
That
Sounds
chair's
good.
bigger than I am.
Randy's good. Where was it? No, it was, okay. May I have a motion to approve the April 23rd regular board meeting minutes?
I make motion.
Dorothy Morso moves. I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Right, motion carries unanimous. Agenda item 5 is the treasurer's financial report for approval as of April 30th, 2024. Dorothy, when you find them in there,
Yeah.
give us a kind of a recap.
Financial management report for approval as of April 30th, 2024. QuickBooks balances for all bank accounts as of April 30th, 2024. Total all accounts. The beginning total, $705,893.80. Ending total, $733,679.41. That's a positive difference of $27,785.61. Also, 2 monthly cash management reports are attached showing actual total receipts deposited all sources in April was $89,523.19. There was a reversal on a previous March entry of $9,664.62. And less general cash account entries. BMO monthly analysis bank fees, including the scanner, was $159.98. The BMO bank merchant fees, debit and credit card processing fees, $435.34. The actual total disbursements for the month in April was $51,477.64. Noted, total disbursements paid include legal fees in the amount of $12,213.75. So the total all accounts balancing with the above reconciliation is $27,785.61. The April billing total was $50,459.51. The April gallons was 4,150,000 gallons. The previous month was 2,731,000 gallons. April 2023 comparison was 3,957,000 gallons. Total for the fiscal year 2023-2024 was 45,395,000 gallons for 10 months. The previous 2022-2023 comparison was 43,729,000 gallons for 10 months. The financials include QuickBooks invoices 3566 to 3589, enhanced audits number 21,748 through 21,842, with accounts receivable in both enhanced and QuickBooks balancing at $26,461.70. Credit and debit card payments, there was a total of 119 transactions. Processed in batch number 495 to 519. There were 67 debits and 52 credits. The total processed was $11,702.77. Review of all audit adjustments was done. Delinquent penalties, both fees posted. final reads, refund of security deposits, rereads, correction, turn on, turn ons. The impact fees, there were 2 debit/credit payments received from March plus 2 in April. Audit number 21-836, account 815 was 14,000. Audit number 21-778 on account 502 was 2,500. Account number 21-774 on account 2087 was 2,500. And then audit number 21-766 on account 821 was 2,500. That's a total of $21,500 in impact fees. Attached are the monthly general journal entries for approval, respectfully submitted by Sarah Rabina Management and Donna Lisa Chandler and Dorothy Moore, Treasurer.
Thank you, Dorothy. Any questions from the board on the financial management report?
No questions for me.
Thank you, Jed. I have a couple questions possibly. Oh. Two questions. When this says impact fees, 2 debit/credit card payments received from March plus 2 in April. This is posted in April. Does that mean that it didn't clear in March?
What it means is that the money was received. We did not enter them into Enhance. The meters had not been installed, and so therefore it was in April.
Oh, the meters hadn't been put in. Okay. All right, that makes sense. And there was one journal entry for $200 donation applied. Journal entry.
Yes, the money from TextNet that's who gave us that money, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The total had been 1,000. We had applied 200 to several accounts. All the ones that I used were people who had major leaks. And so this past period, I did do another 200. I think, and I don't know off the top of my head, I think there might be 200 left from that donation from TechNet.
Oh, so that's what that is.
Yep.
And so this account number, that was just a donation from
That's the
what
account that it was applied.
I'm calling the Water Angel.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
yes, that was the account that it was applied to in this.
Oh,
in
okay.
April.
Okay, thank you very much. And I answered my other questions. May I have a motion to approve the April 30th financial management report?
I'll make a motion.
Jed Carter so moves. May I have a second?
I abstain, since my wife made the report.
I'll second. All in favor say aye.
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 All right, we have 3 ayes and 1 abstention. Thank you, Randy. Motion carries. Agenda item 6, operations report for approval as of May 24th, last Friday. Bob?
Yes, okay, we had 68 completed work orders. Included 4 turn-ons, 5 turn-offs, 1 new meter set, 33 meter bell box repair replacement, 4 main line or service line breaks, 8 well booster pump system repairs, site maintenance, 3 meter rereads or final reads, 1 pressure condition, and then 5 customer service. So on the 4 turnoffs, most of those were dealing with customer repairs. There's actually 3 customer repairs that we had to turn on and we'll turn off and then turn back on when the customers were finished doing repairs in their property. We installed a new meter on Old Black Canyon Highway. Done. 33 meter box valve box replacements. This included 5 leaky meters, 5 meter checks where we just checked the valve to make sure it was working properly, 15 cleanouts, and we had 3 leaks in the valve boxes that required mainline shutoffs. That means somebody had broken our valve and could not. 3 of them. Yep. And we then had to go and turn off the entire street to repair it.
What streets were those on?
Oh. Do you recall offhand?
One was Bertha, I think the other one was
Kate Field.
Kayfield,
And
and
then Mesquite?
yeah.
The customers notified on those valves that were broke, that they are not allowed to touch our
Yeah.
valve?
Mhm.
I can't do anything to prove that they did, so I can't go around accusing people of doing stuff if I didn't actually see it.
No, I
So
mean,
unfortunately, I just have
the
to bite the
education
bullet.
aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was, I tell people not to touch them. If they need a valve, they have to install their own. You know what I mean? I'll come shut the water off for them so this doesn't happen, but,
Yeah.
it happens.
Yep.
You don't know.
Yep. So as we had 4 mainline brakes repairs. So we had one on Mesquite, a couple on Oasis, and then on Mud Springs. Booster pump, well site maintenance. A lot of those were dealing with low chlorine residual that's warming up, so we had to make some adjustments, including chlorine parts, just get things going for the warmer weather. We had 3 rereads. I'm sorry, 1 reread, it was okay, and then 2 final reads. We had a customer call and ask us to check pressure on Mesquite.
Somebody ended up shutting her valve off at the box almost all the way, which is why she didn't have pressure. And she had been gone for months. I went over there and looked at it, and I turned the hose on, and it's an old home, so before I actually looked in the box, everything was buried, as per gopher. Before I looked in the box and realized that her valve was shut down, but I turned her water on, and she had low pressure, so I went over there and looked at it, and that's how I did it. As soon as I turned it on, she was good to go.
Customer service, we had one that was emergency blue stake, and then we posted a 30-day notice of the one on Abbott. We had 80 blue stakes, 87 pink slips. The results for the arsenic was sampled in April, 6.3 at Big John, 3.5 at Oasis, and less than 10 at GOA. And I have no idea why we got a 1.3 UGLs in February, and this time it's just less than 10. It just depends on how they send the reports out. So, I mean, they just can't see it. It's so low that they cannot see the level.
What, the 1.3 or the under 10?
The under 10.
That's why that is.
Yep.
I was gonna ask you why it just said under 10.
Yeah, and so when they start getting down around the ones, it gets, there's so much interference on the test, it can't be sure, so they just go less than.
Okay.
Okay, so we're probably sitting in the low ones from GOA. And again, the EPA limits are 10, so we're way under. Let's see, last month I hadn't gotten the reports, the bacteria report for April, but it's in there now. It was absent for April and absent for May, which is good. We went absent for bacteria. I got the PFOS, whatever, the forever chemicals results back. We are still less than the EPA guidance at this point, so we are sitting well. Water stats. Like we recovered a little bit. Let's just say they stabilized. So at Big John, we are sitting at 22 feet 4 inches. At Oasis, we're at 23.10. Oasis 2, we're at 24. GOA, we are at 24.5, sorry. And then GOA 3 is 21.3, so we actually came back a little bit.
I was surprised by that.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it wasn't a lot,
No.
and what was it, GOA 1 was a little bit worse, I think? Or no, not 1, 2.
Snow's melting up north.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
Well, and also, it's like, some of the measurements are taken at different heights because, you know, the well's this high and you got the candy cane up here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, if you actually went down to the ground, it'd be a little lower. We do them from like 3 feet up.
Okay, no, okay, sorry, Bob. Go ahead.
Yep. So projects, water service meter replacement, working with Morgan at WIFA, getting all the forms finally tidied up to her. Oasis Electrical, continue to clean that up. We are going to be on site June 3rd to kind of finalize stuff. So I have a helper coming to help me just kind of wrap that entire project up. Big John 3, we can talk about that later. The private wells connected to the water system. Joe is working on actually targeting the customers that have low water usage or zero. And targeting those properties first to see if they have a meter.
Well,
I'm sorry, and why they're not using the district's. Yep. So that's kind of how we're targeting that. There's just so many of them. So many wells in the ADWR database that we need to narrow it down.
We don't
So
know
that's-
how many we have
Yep.
in the district.
Right, so
Yeah.
that's how we chose to narrow it. We continue to work on a couple of things I need to add. The lead line survey, we continue to work on that. Joe and Keith out in the field, and then I never reported that we filed the community water system report with ADWR. So I let you know that I had filed that, for the record.
Okay, all right. Well, boy,
I wasn't watching.
you should have
the
nudged me sooner.
video. I didn't realize, I just looked at the time.
Okay, Bob, wrap her up, I'm late
Okay,
on Sunday.
that's it, I'm done.
Thank you very much. I think I had one, on the PFBS,
Yep,
that's minus 1.8, does that mean that's the lowest they can test?
yes,
And the HHH5
yep,
is a little high, and so is the lead, the way I read it.
well, yes, we had the one site that was high, but because it's a 90%,
Oh.
we are below it.
Right.
And then we will be pulling samples here in the next couple of months.
Any questions from Jed? Thank you, Bob.
Short question, do you expect any raise with PFAS? I know it's the main thing with the EPA, but it's more of a thing with surface water and more groundwater, so what do you expect to see from your results going forward?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna impact us. I've also heard, areas around a lot of industry, or wells around industry are being impacted. But I haven't seen, impact in rural areas.
Okay, thank you,
So,
Bob.
yep,
If nothing else, I'll make a motion to approve the management operations report from the period April 20th to May 24th, 2024. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Randy Rubina seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item number 7, and I apologize for being tardy on this, is the public budget and rate hearing. All the board members have a copy of what was discussed at the April board meeting, when it was approved to, thank you, when it was approved to publish the budget. And I just want to make a comment. Sarah, would you mind outlining what you did as well after I make one statement, one comment here? It was brought up from a member of the public that it might be a good idea just to do a very brief overview of what is entailed in a budget. And so I made myself some notes, and it's basically a financial plan that outlines what your expected income is for a specific period of time, whether it's quarterly or annually. And as compared to the expenses that you expect to incur, those two items. So your income, your expenses, and if you've been in business for any period of time, you have something to look back to, like we do, which is all of the accounts that had money in it and how we did from, there's over 20 expense accounts. And we can look back and we can see during the year if we're on target or if we are way high in one area, and try to figure out why we're high in that area, so we can make adjustments. And that's what financial reports are for. Budgets are to plan your revenue expenses, how you're going to allocate that revenue, breaking it down into the various categories like operating expenses, capital expenditures, and then you can compare that to your profit and loss. So it's kind of like if you do a home budget, it's kind of the similar, only much larger, usually. And that's the end of that. You want to add anything to that?
No, I think you summed it up pretty good. What I will add is that at the last board meeting, the board approved the proposed budget, which included a $7 a month per customer increase to cover everything from the operating fund. There were no increases planned in the capital budget, but the total that is anticipated, if you have the sheet in front of you, the total amount of income that we are projecting is $128,000 for capital improvements. And we have reserves, if you go down further in that page, and the reserves are expected to be about $460,000. So that's what makes up the capital improvement fund, and then if we have any projects, they would be taken out of the capital improvement fund. The second column, the operation and maintenance with the $7. The $7 was is shown in the account 300, the sales, the water sales, because that's what would be added to the monthly bills. And the other items are things that come in, be it the convenience fees, the 4% that people pay, late fees, delinquent fees. If there are new meters installed, there are fees for that. Interest earned through the county, because all of their money is in the county and invested by them. And then the expenses below are the typical ones. This is an election year, so that is something that was not in the budget last year. And we're just estimating at $3,000 for the general election. It's not a special election. But we do anticipate it will be about that. Special elections are much more. We do have outside services for the generators. We have the security system. We have the enhanced support, which is the program for the customers, for the software. And then we have the management fees, the professional fees, including legal and CPA. We do have bank fees, advertising, and pumps and electric, that kinda has been running pretty consistently. Same thing, the generators, we had increased pretty substantially the chemicals because there's a lot more chlorine being used. We do have a trash service, licenses and permits, and there are some office expense, not a whole lot, but there are some, and of course insurance. So that kind of outlines the operation and maintenance. Same thing, we will have some funds in reserve at the close of the year, so that's shown on the second page. And so then we do have a small operating contingency of $7,529. But depreciation expense is another large expense. And then I am anticipating that there may be one arsenic media replacement. If it's not installed during this fiscal period, it'll just roll over until the next year. So that pretty much outlines everything in the budget.
Thank you, Sarah. Randy, have you given any more thought to this proposed budget and the $7 increase?
Yeah, I have.
After looking at,
I mean, $6 alone goes to field maintenance,
yeah,
right along. So the other dollar is for increase. I mean, everything costs more. I think we need to put another dollar on there for just the equipment, line breaks and everything else, the material we're using, because it costs a lot more. You know, brass products used to be cheap. As soon as they took the lead out of them, they quadrupled in price, and they've gone up since till then. I mean, it's phenomenal what the prices are today. So I'm recommending a $7 increase across the board. It affects everybody. It doesn't affect the amount you use. It's $7 across the board.
okay.
My recommendation.
Have you given any thought to it that has changed from the last time this was brought up in April? After going through this a little bit.
No, I mean, Bob said that costs have gone up so much that that's why he's asking for the 5.
And wages have gone up too, and I don't know that we spoke about that before, but wages across the board have gone up.
Everything.
Okay, so you're at 7? Mr. Carter?
I had a question, maybe, this be for Bob. So, do you still have a tab system on hand? Or is there,
The tab
versus your
system?
parasolic system?
Yes, we still have the tab system there.
So would that be, a thing that we could consider for the summertime? Because I know those parasolic pumps used in summertime with the quarry. So have you looked into whether or not it'd be cheaper to use tabs in the summer and maybe the parasolic in the winter? Or is there a difference?
Yeah, part of what we were running into with the tab system, it was just starting to break down. Yeah, so there's a lot of repairs going into keeping the tab system up and running.
Well, it's 20 years old.
Yeah, so that was the other reason we were kind of phasing it out. It was just, a check valve is $1,000, and there's, you know,
Okay, so
a
you
couple
don't
of them
see
in
an
each
improvement
unit.
in cost
Yeah,
versus usage using the tab in the summer?
right.
Yeah, and also it creates a lot of deposits in the pipe, and we get clogged all the
Right, yeah, I
time.
understand that. Well, that was the only question I had was that, but, because I know the parasolic pumps, they're better over a long term, but I know that, liquid chlorine is, you need more demand in the summertime with the heat.
Right.
And another question I have for you was, have you noticed an improvement in your consistency with your chlorine read results with the parasolic pumps?
Yes, I think it's easier to maintain, you know, that 0.7 to 1 residual.
And do we have shade structures in place for those pumps?
Yes, actually they're inside.
Oh, perfect.
Yep.
Okay, not to be on point, but that's it. It just came to me, but I
Okay.
asked about it.
That's good
Good
input. I
question.
didn't know
Yep.
that. Okay. Are you were not at the April meeting, as I recall, Jed.
Correct.
So what are your thoughts on the $7 increase after digesting the proposed budget that you received?
Well, I mean, you know, like Randy said, things cost more. And, you know, you can see that driving a vehicle, eating vehicles. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Okay.
So, you know, I wish there was a way around it, not to do it, but if we gotta do it, we gotta do it.
Would like to, at this time, open the floor to the public to make comments or ask questions on the budget or the rate increase. Just raise your hand. Yes, ma'am.
I know that our trash was raised $4 because of transportation costs. And I know this gentleman had mentioned the $5, and then there was $2 more added, correct?
No, originally, I've always slated $7 increase right from the start.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how would that be on the billing system?
How would that what?
Be on our billing system?
Well,
It would just be your minimum bill.
It changes your base bill only,
Your
it doesn't
base
change
rate.
how
Yeah,
much
but
water
can
you
you- can
use
you
or you
repeat
get
the
charged
question,
more
please?
for
Yeah,
it.
it doesn't affect the amount you use.
yes.
There's no way of getting around it. It's gonna go on everybody's
So
bill
in the summertime, when we use,
if it's approved.
in the
You can-
summertime, we use more water,
Right,
you just do. And,
that won't affect it.
This won't affect that. The base rate right now is $25. That will go up to 32.
yeah, and well, my bill I just got was 31 and I went, yes.
That is good.
Yes, but, you know, I understand the thing, everything goes up, but hopefully, you know, you just say salary's going up too. So I'm hoping that you guys could kind of go maybe more like the $4 or $5.
We tried to get there, believe it or not.
There's no way of getting there. Really,
So,
there isn't.
so that's gonna be established when?
Yeah, I mean,
July 1st.
I mean, it's unfortunate in the future, rates are gonna go up. I can't say they'll go up every year, but they're gonna go up. Water's gonna cost more, electric costs more, the pumps cost more. Everything to do with getting you the water costs more. I mean, in the future,
And the
the
supply.
rates are gonna
demand.
continue going up. There's no way of getting around that. I don't know how, unless all of a sudden, all prices are froze, which is never gonna happen.
No, but the thing I was thinking of was, are we getting any more customers?
Yeah.
Are we
I'm
limited?
installing.
Yeah,
a
I mean,
decent meter
recently,
a
we
month.
they just put a meter in for the 8-unit apartment building.
I think I put one in. a
Which
month
generated how
before
much
that.
money?
Excuse me?
Which generated how much money? Could that offset the raise in the rate?
Oh, what did it generate?
Yeah.
What did
It
it
might
generate?
offset it for. a
Most of
short
that went in
time,
capital improvement.
But not, it's not gonna do anything in the long term.
You gotta have money in capital improvement. It's
And-
on the agenda today.
I'm just kind of dumbfounded how the east side cannot raise their rates and the corporation commission doesn't allow it. But on our side, because we're a district, you
Oh,
can raise
believe
it
me.
whatever you
On
want.
the
I'm
east
just
side-
kind of a little bit confused at the difference between one side and the other. I understand it's a different system,
Yeah.
but the cost is kind of,
Well,
my friend on the east side pays $24 for water and we pay $119 was my last water bill.
Well,
For the same amount of water used, I'm kind of just,
they're in
that-
debt.
talk about the east side, those people will have to wait. I know for a fact that system is losing money.
Yeah,
They are getting
100%.
prepared for a big rate increase.
yeah.
They're losing money. They're going in the hole drastically.
They can't even get people to come out and identify their water lines. They're trying to have me do it, and I don't
You
even
know,
work.
they just
Well, I've
bought the
seen your
system,
car, the
so.
vehicles over at that other, that was the other question.
We have,
Yeah, I've seen
water line on that side of
BCCWID
town.
over there, and
Yeah.
I'm at their well.
no.
So was
I've
that
never been at one of
generating
their
money
well
for
sites.
us?
I've never been at one of their well sites.
I have pictures. I don't know that it was you, but I have pictures of this BCCWID truck sitting at their well.
Which
Which makes me
where's
want-
their well at?
The well off of Gem Street and shit, I don't know the other crossroad. But I seen BCCWID over there for like 3 hours, and I thought, huh, are you contracted with them? Does that create revenue? Why are we over there?
Yeah, no, I've
Why
never
are we
been
having
over there.
anything to do with that?
I'd like to see those pictures. Do you
Okay.
have any pictures of anybody who was in the truck?
I don't know. I'll give them to you.
Because I can guarantee it's not me, and if it's
I
one
wasn't
of
saying
the
you,
people
I
that
was
work for me, they ain't
saying-
gonna be working for me anymore. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, 'cause they need a lot of help.
Okay, let's try to keep one voice at a time if we could, so we can transcribe. Mr. Watts.
Last year, we had a $1 rate increase. I know it was entertained, maybe go 2. And now we're looking at 7, and since the Ravina's been here like 23 years, something like that, have we ever had in the history, since you've been here, a rate increase as much as $7 versus $3 or something else?
No, we haven't. Not $7. But you have to understand, everything has changed. The cost of managing the system has changed. It's not like when I did it. You have to understand, when I did it, I got paid, but I didn't get paid what other people would get paid. I lived in this community, I owned property in this community. I always kept my price way down. I mean, I made money. Did I get wealthy off of it? Not even on a bet. You know, and the people that have been here a long time understand that. American Country Homes, a company I own, did a lot of stuff in this district for free. People would be astonished if there would be a list of everything the Rabinas did for free to this water district. Some know, but most people don't. And I don't brag it. I did it for the best of this water district. But that has changed through the years now. It's not the same. Like I said, their $6 increase is a given. We can't go anywhere. That's
That's a
just
hard
the
cost.
different, that's the added cost for the field. There's nowhere to drop that. And I'm requesting $1 more just for parts. So, you know, it's the way it is.
I live in Corliss Junction right now. They're going for a rate increase. I just want you to know the difference between their rate increase and their rate increase. And I'll bring the paperwork to show you guys if you would like to see it. 234% is what they're gonna increase our base bill. So we're gonna be paying $100 a month for water just to have the meter.
Whether
So-
you use water or not?
I mean, yeah, whether you use water or not, $100 a month, 243% increase. And they're putting all that mismanagement, because that company's in $4 million in debt, on us.
So you guys have to pay for it.
Yeah,
And then they're regulated by the Corporation Commission.
And that's all of Cordis?
yeah.
Oh
And we,
my
meanwhile,
gosh,
we don't
I
even
have
have
friends up
proper
there.
pressure in some of those areas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, $7 is nothing. Cause I'm about to move out of that town because of it. Cause I have a garden, I have animals.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to afford to, I already get $150 water bill.
Okay, then, because of inflation, this is why you're justifying this, which is understandable. But in the 23 years you're here, this is probably the biggest rate increase, but you're saying our economy reflects that. And there's,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
okay, I just didn't know if you ever had an increase.
The inflation
No,
This
we've
rate,
month
never had
at
an
one
increase
time.
that big.
yeah, the inflation rate's
And
been
then some.
7% over the last 2 to 3 years.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah.
Lane Clayton.
So, I, don't understand why the district is opposed to having, I can't remember the name of the organization come out to do a water rates assessment and determine what a rate increase would need to be over the next 5 years so that there is better, planning for future, increases instead of just increasing it whenever you feel like you need to increase it. Actually have an analysis done, it's free, so that you get a picture over the next 5 years.
I would, if I may,
Good comment, you may.
I would say you'd have to have a crystal ball. Who's to say where inflation's gonna be in the next year? Do you know? I don't. The year after that, I sure don't. No one in this room can say they know. So you can project, but it doesn't mean you're gonna stick
No one in
to
this
it.
room might be able to say so, but people outside of this room with more open minds and more
Professionals.
experience at projecting expenses and costs, they would be able to do that, but this board seems to reject anybody coming in that might be able to see more than what you guys are looking at.
Let me tell you why. I'll tell you why from my perspective. You brought our CAC from California as a recommendation to the board. You brought it
You
to the
told
board
me-
and I told you that the board would think about it and I researched them.
You did not.
I can tell, okay, we're done with that. Since you don't wanna know, we're done with that.
I
Any
already
other
know, I
questions?
researched what you
are
researched
done.
and you were totally incorrect. You did nothing, you have no idea what they do.
I can tell you who they've done rate studies for in Arizona, and I can tell you what they do with all of them. They all raise rates every single year for 5 years. That's not what this district is all about. If we only need $1, we're only gonna raise the rates $1. That's why.
Every other company goes a rate increase and then they put like a 0.5 to a 2.5% every year. So their bills just increase every year. That's what Prescott Valley does, that's what cities do.
That's what
Municipal
Pine
water
Strawberry
companies don't
does.
do that because most people are on a fixed income.
You're right, it's pointless to try and bring any new ideas or anything that's innovative and that would make the district more up to date because this board is like archaic
That's what
in
we're
their
doing.
attitudes.
Thank you for your question. Mike.
You're welcome.
Any other questions on the rate increase? From anyone?
Well, the reason we raised it was because Bob needed the $5 to cover operations in the field. He should be answering that. What that $5 is gonna cover. 6.
I thought it was
So-
5 too.
5, I
So-
said.
And,
That's
yeah.
to cover, the employees. We've added, so now we have 2 full-time employees down here. It used to be one and a quarter, whatever. Now it's been 2 people. And Joe probably just had his busiest week ever last week. We actually sent the 3rd guy down here. It's a lot of labor, cost of running the vehicles, gas, tires, insurance, all that's gone up. Any of the equipment that we have, it costs more to maintain the equipment so that we can get out and actually do the repairs.
Yeah, and we need them.
And not to mention gas is $1.50 a gallon more here than it is anywhere else.
Really?
Oh yeah, if you go up to the junction, it's like $4. It's 5 something over here.
Oh, you have to go over here, you can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Oops.
and we only have 1 gas station, so it's
Well,
not like
yeah.
Any other questions on the budget or rate increase? No? Yeah, I'm gonna close the floor.
We started at 5:36, I just noted the time, so.
Okay, the floor is closed. May I have a motion, unless anyone on the board has changed their mind on the $7, to implement the $7 rate increase, finalize the budget with the numbers that were posted.
You asking for a motion?
Yes, I
Oh,
did.
sorry. I'll make a motion to approve the base rate, $7 a month
Increase.
increase.
Okay, may I have a second?
I'll second.
Dorothy Moore seconds. Randy Rabina moved. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries unanimously. All right. Agenda item number 8, Consumer Confidence Report. Is this you, Bob, or is this Sarah?
Yes, I did the data, so that's just been compiled.
You guys work together on the
Yeah.
letter, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so what I've done is, and it's required by the state, is we compile all of the samples that we've taken for the last year and any that the monitoring assistant program has taken, and that's contracted out by ADEQ. And then that gets tabulated in a form that ADEQ puts out, and that's what we have. And so, it shows that we are in good standings with the Safe Drinking Water Act. We did have one issue, pointed out. One of the things that we use Legend Technical Services. One of the things that Legends does for us is they send our results directly to the state. And they forgot to send in our disinfectant byproducts. So we got dinged because.
Fire 'em.
Because they didn't send them in on time. They then did send them in, the results were good, but we get a violation because we didn't get them to us. That
Right.
didn't
Yeah,
get
I
the
read
EDQ
that.
in time, so
Right.
that'd be the ding.
And everything else looked really good on the report.
So,
I'd like to change a couple numbers if I could.
nope,
I know,
because that'll just get kicked back out.
I know.
So,
They look really good though, as usual. Jen, do you have any questions on the consumer confidence report in the
I
letter?
don't have any questions.
No questions, okay. Dorothy?
No.
Randy?
No,
I know you
no
would.
questions.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the consumer confidence report for the calendar year 2023. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Jed Carter seconds. All in favor say aye.
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 All right,
Aye.
motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 9, call of election. Sarah, you want to briefly touch on that?
No, we are required to advertise and also have it on the board agenda, the call of election, which just is letting everybody know that there are 3 seats up for election. And the general election is November 5th. It will be at the Pioneer Masonic Lodge, which used to be the Civic Center. And the polls are open at 6 a.m., close at 7 p.m., and the last date to register to vote in the election is October 7th. The 3 positions is their 4-year terms, so they would begin in January 1, 2025, and expire 12/31/2028. Any qualified candidates can obtain a candidate's packet through Yavapai County Elections. And for more information, you can contact the county. That's just information only, there's not
Right.
anything that needs to be done.
Okay. Information only, no board action required there. Number 10, Randy, this is gonna bring you into play. Number 10, capital improvement project for Ironwood, Palo Verde, approval to advertise for bids. Actually, it'll have you and Bob.
All right, most people know if they've been coming to the meetings, with the operations report, Ironwood and Palo Verde are bad lines. They've been rupturing constantly. They're probably, I don't know, 70 years old maybe. Anyway, they need to be replaced. It's quite a project. Cost will be considerable. It's, number exactly. Let's see, we got 2.
Do you have a list? Was it
Probably about 44 or 4,500 feet. That's 3/4 of a mile of pipe. It is gonna be costly to do this project. This was always my thing, to go out for bid and see where we stand on it. If you run the numbers, what it could cost per foot, it could be a $500,000 project. I'm not saying it's going to be, but it's possible. Because you don't only have to replace the main, it would be all 6-inch pipe. You also have to replace all the service lines, which currently now are galvanized, most of them. You'll have a lot of cutting across the street, so there's a lot of slurry. Project probably takes 40 yards of slurry. No, a lot more than
About
40.
more,
400.
400, yeah, something like that.
Because everything on this project will most likely have to be slurry, because it will be within 2 feet of the blacktop, except for from Mud Springs Road to the corner of Ironwood and Palo Verde, which I believe we can stay 2 feet away. We'll also have to bore the road on Mud Springs at the bridge, because that's a new county road. They're not gonna let you dig it up.
Where's the bridge, Randy?
Right here. Here's the wash
Oh,
and the bridge.
okay.
And that would be installing all new meters, except where meters are new.
Well, hell, that's.
Anyway, to the board for
You have a-
approval to go to bid.
Okay, question. When you were talking about 4,400 feet, you talking transite? Or are you talking total that included
All
galvanized?
Ironwood is transite, all Palo Verde is transite, except from Mud Springs to Ironwood. That is PVC, however, it is cheap PVC. It's not even Schedule
Schedule
40,
40,
no.
it's Schedule 20. You use that pipe for irrigation, and that's what's in there. That's what they used back then, and
That's old pipe.
It's old.
oh yeah, it needs to be replaced. Larry Miller put that in. I think it was between probably Larry Miller and, I think they were partners on it at the time, and Harmon's. Anyway, it's been in a long time.
Wow.
Like I said, I know from experience where I dug up transite, there were dates on it from 1945.
Oh,
So I can't say it was put in back then, but it's old, it's been put in a long time.
Engineering requirements.
No, we don't have to get an engineer for this project, we're replacing a line, we're not putting a new one in. We'll have to give the county a copy of this plan, they'll require it, because they will most likely have an inspector on the job, which is typical. A job like this, they'll probably have an inspector here every day at 9 a.m. all day long. That's up to the county if they wish to do that, but most likely they will.
do you think you get any bids?
I'm sorry?
Do you have people in mind for the bids? Anybody know about it? This is the first time you talked about it?
Well, it's not the first time we've talked about it, but
No.
it's the first time we are going to discuss it in detail like this, that Randy and Bob and Joe apparently have put together. Now, we're gonna request approval from the board to put it out to bid. Whoever bids it, bids it.
No.
Hopefully they come in under the 100 million, what did you say?
Now,
500?
when it-
Yeah.
if it goes to bid, it doesn't mean we're gonna do the project, but it gives us the cost. Bids will come in, sealed bids, they'll be opened at a meeting, it's up to the chair, well, there is no meeting in June. So the chair will have to decide if he wants to bring this up before then, before our July meeting, in which case we'd have to have a special meeting for it. Totally up to the chair. If not, bids won't be open till July.
Well, we're almost in June, it'll be
Yeah.
July before the bids
Yeah.
come in anyway, by the
That's
time
right.
it gets
Not a big
advertised,
deal.
so.
and then we'll look at the bids and then decide, are we gonna do the project or not? I mean, the longer we wait, the more it costs.
Okay, right.
But there's always a chance that the board decides we're gonna go through with it. And we're not gonna go through with the project, depends on the cost. If the cost comes cheap enough, when I say cheap, I say that loose term.
Relative
If it
term.
comes in cheap enough that we don't feel it's worth going through with it, depends what WIFA is going to forgive, you know.
So we need more Band-Aids.
If you go through with it, it always costs more, because you have to do prevailing wage.
Okay.
So it costs a lot more money to do a project. And you're compelled to get an engineer. You can't do it without one.
Yeah.
It's
So
all government, so
the costs go up.
sometimes you can do a project cheaper, not going through with it.
I
It
can't-
depends on the forgiveness. If they forgive 75%,
Maybe it's
hey,
worth it.
then maybe we go through with it. If they approve 25%, then maybe not.
Well, I can't even talk to them unless I know the rough number of transite and the rough number of galvanized. Well, I know you got it written down, but I was looking for that list I asked you for. I saw a list.
You want a
one time.
material list?
I want a material list so I can ask them, because you know yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Will
We
this
are
have
here to
priority?
approve going to bid for advertising, so
Will this have priority over the meter replacement program?
the two
Which
are
is
not
more of a
connected.
luxury.
The two are not connected.
Right, but would this have priority over that since this is a necessity and that's more of a luxury?
Yeah.
That's all, just
Yes, you
wondering.
or me.
No.
He's making a comment that I can't respond to, so.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the Ironwood Palo Verde project for advertisements for bids. May I have a second?
I'll make a second.
Randy Rubin seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Jed, you said aye, didn't you?
I said aye.
All right, motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Randy. Bob. Agenda item number, 11, audit for fiscal year ending 6/30/2023. The most recent one. I'll hit the highlights. I know what short means. Our total net position increased by, it went up again pretty nicely, $61,260 or 3.48%, which is not bad at all. Our operating revenues increased by $10,796 or 2%. Our expenses went up a little more, but it didn't negate terribly our increase in net and revenues. It went up $37,000. I don't know when we got hit with that huge increase on chlorine, but that might have been a little bit of it. It went up by 7.52%. This is the third and final audit that we needed to get completed after finally finding an auditor. We plan to have our CPA come in, hopefully. Probably not July, because that's a bad month also. So probably September, hopefully, if we can get SC Audit Solutions. So, would you call Kay?
No, I'll email
We email Kay, either one. See
it. Could
what,
they attend telephonically with it? I mean, it's just for the board. So.
they agreed to come out. No, I want them here, even if I'm the only one. Okay, that's it.
You need a motion.
I've gone through this, I'm comfortable with it. Have you had any time to go through it, Randy?
I sure have,
Okay,
and I'm comfortable with it.
it look
I
good?
think it shows how well the district is doing. There's no kidding about it. regardless of what some people say, the district is doing extremely well, extremely managed well.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Jed, did you have any time to go through it?
Yes, I went through it, and I don't see any issues.
No issues, no questions
No, I'm pleased with
I
it.
didn't think we
It's a
were
very good
voting on it.
reflection
Yeah.
of the district.
to approve it. Why?
We did the other ones.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted to get here and talk to you about it. I didn't know we were voting. So,
Then, abstain or vote no.
okay,
They have a motion to approve the audit for year ending June 30th, 2023.
I'll make a motion to approve the audit.
Jed Carter so moves. I'll second it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm abstaining.
And one abstention, so 3 ayes and Dorothy Moore abstains. Okay. Where are we at here? 12, Big John number 3, bid reviews and possible award of contract for Big John 3.
Excuse me, Dave. Can I do assumption this number,
That's the total.
but we gotta pay 25%? Was that the number from Whistler?
Well, that's our net cost. I'll get into that once I get in.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I can't go that way.
Well, I know she read these things because I gave them to her, but. Jed, I sent this to you about 2 hours ago. Did you get it? The bid from KP and the bid from Mike's Drilling?
Yes, I did.
Okay. These came in the middle part of March, roughly, and Bob and I received them. This is the way that bid package was put together by the engineer for WIPA. I did not disseminate it to the board until the start of this meeting, and as I said to Jed 2 hours ago. So the first bid that I received was from Mike's Drilling, and it matches exactly the plans, specifications. Bob, you've probably compared these two bids because you've had them for at least 2 weeks as well. But it includes all material, all labor, per plans,
Per
per
plans.
specs.
Yep.
I had to call both firms to make sure that they had the Davis-Bacon prevailing wage included. They both do. So I documented that.
Okay,
Mike forgot to acknowledge addendum 1. He acknowledges addendum 1
okay,
on Mike's Drilling.
right, okay.
The only difference between these two bids that I can see, Randy,
Mm-hmm.
Jed, and me, is the pricing. Mike's Drilling, the first bid that we received is $425,951. And that does include taxes. Does. The second bid we received was from KP Ventures. His bid is $257,647.88. So there's about a $75,000 difference. Mike's is about 75,000 higher. It is
It's
American
more than-
Iron and Steel, huh?
a lot more than
It's
that.
a lot more.
It's a lot more than that.
Oh, is it
175.
175.
175?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That's what I said. Just now, 175.
See how they
Yeah.
push it
Thanks
over?
for the mathematical correction there. Yeah, I didn't wanna make this other bid look too bad, but it is very high. 125. Jed, did you have any questions on this? Or if you prefer, Mr. Carter?
No, I do not have any questions on it. I think it's pretty cut and dry.
Way ahead. It is pretty cut and dry.
I'm floored, Mr. Chair, at the difference, but I'm even more floored what they charge to come to the job.
Yeah.
I wish I had a job.
Tucson.
I don't care. This,
Yeah, I don't care.
I don't care where he's from.
You talking about Mike's?
Yeah, he's gonna charge $100,000 to come from Tucson, just to set up. I mean, but even Ventures,
Houses with them?
even KP Ventures is charging 80 grand just to come to the job and set up. I mean, I know they all do, it just blows my mind.
Yeah, I know.
I guess when you have multi-million-dollar piece of equipment, you charge for it. But I'm a whole lot more pleased at this price from KP Ventures than we've gotten in the past.
Yes, it's like pricing has come
It's-
down
it's-
a little bit.
I don't think it's come down, I think, had you ever had one from KP Ventures before? The last bids?
We did, I'd have
Oh,
to
you did?
review it to see exactly how
Yeah.
it lines up.
They changed a couple things.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is why it's cheaper.
But it, it's $75,000 less than what the last bid,
The last one.
not KP, but the last
Yeah,
one. So we
yeah.
potentially have saved some money.
Yes.
And we've worked with KP, they pulled a well pump for us out at Oasis. They seem to be, and Joe's worked with them before. Seems to be a reputable company.
Oh, use them pulling a well?
Yep.
Yeah.
And troubleshooting for us.
Uh-huh. Oh, they're local, Cottonwood.
Yeah.
All right. May I have a motion to approve?
Excuse me, Mr. Chair. If I may,
If you may.
would you want to explain to some of the people that are here that haven't been here in the past, I notice, what WIF is, what we're gonna have to actually put out? What WIF is gonna forgive after,
Well, it's roughly 69.75%, because some of the stuff was not at 75%. Like the engineering, for example, it was at 50. And so that dilutes that 75 down a little bit, but it ended up around 69 point something percent forgiveness.
forgiveness.
The cost to us is roughly 184,000 plus the interest. And on the 20-year loan, so it's 184,000 would be our hard cost on the loan. And the interest was about right around 40, I think.
Percent?
No!
Oh.
No. It was
40,000.
about 40,000 on the 20-year loan, but we're gonna pay it off in 10, so it won't be 40,000, it'll be,
More like 25.
18.
yeah,
18,
25,
yeah.
27.
Whatever.
The interest rate is 2.34.
Take it.
2.34 is a pretty darn good
Yeah,
interest
it
rate.
is.
That's a fixed rate loan, it's not
It is.
variable.
And it may, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Also to point out that we cannot pay this off for 10 years. That's a stipulation from WIFA. We must keep the loan for 10 years. After 10 years, we can pay it off. But we don't have a choice. Like now we have the money, we could just pay for it. We're not allowed to do that. So,
But there's a bright side to all of this. And that is, we now have the capital, if we could do Palo Verde and Ironwood
Possibly,
for $180,000, $190,000, $200,000.
possibly, yeah.
Or Joe can keep killing himself fixing mainline breaks with transite.
Yeah,
Well, it's not only the labor, those clamps are $300,
more than that.
more than
I
that.
just paid $1,000 for one.
And if you take out a section, you use 2 of them.
Yep.
It's
Then it's
crazy.
inconvenience to the residents.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
that's-
yeah.
That's,
Each time you gotta
Okay.
shut the water down.
The thing that takes the longest is waiting for the water to drain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta shut down valves and you gotta wait for everything to clear out and then clear the hole.
Any other questions?
No, I have
Mr.
none.
Urbina? We have a motion to approve Big John number 3 bid from KP Ventures in the amount of $257,647.88.
I'll make such a motion.
Randy Urbina so moves. I'll second. All in favor say aye.
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 All right, motion carries unanimously. Eva Burst, you wanted to make public call, agenda item 13.
Yes, thank you. As a donor to the Angel Program, I'd like to know, there's so much concern about water rates going up, all the pink slips we've had last month, this month. What is being done to get the word out? What's the status? Could there be a report every month? I mean, it seems like we have this fund that could do so much good. There's all this concern out here of need.
Good
And
point.
so, you know, I just question, you know, this is such a good thing that the district has.
Yeah.
And it's not getting the,
Email or response? It's not on the agenda, so we can't, I'm sorry, I didn't.
okay,
No,
but
no,
it's,
no,
it's
no,
just
you-
a comment
you-
I've been
you
wanting
bring
to
up a
make
good
for
point.
several months. And every month it goes away, and now we have this $7 increase coming. And I just think that, you know, I just wanna know, you know, like, so how do you get the word out? Is anybody using it?
Like,
It's.
well, the board can recommend to staff, and I would like to make a recommendation that in one of the next meeting or two, that we give a update report on the Water Angel program, because I know you've been utilizing it, and you're tracking it, but it's a good point, we haven't
Yeah, I-
reported back to the public what we've done with that donated
I
money.
just, yeah, you know, not names or anything, just you've had this many requests and you maybe distributed this amount, you have this much in the fund. It's just, you know, and what is being done to put this word out, because there's so much need right now. And as I said, this is a really nice, wonderful thing that the district has to offer. Yes.
If I may, half of those pink slips are people that just paid bills late.
Got it.
Well, right,
Got it.
I understand that, but,
I-
okay,
We gotta
thank you.
move.
We do.
Carol,
Yes, thank you, though.
Good point, and I could do a better job on advertising that as well. Carol, that door?
You can skip that one. Just go ahead. There's more important ones.
Okay. Thank you anyway. Was that fluoridation you were talking about?
Yeah.
We don't fluoridate our water.
no,
You do not.
no.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I thought it was listed on when they had the
I know.
components before.
Slip.
When
We
they- you
don't,
know, when they
there
said-
might be fluoride in the water.
Oh, you don't
As in
add,
that,
you
we
don't
we
add
don't add
fluoride.
it to the fluoride.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Cindy, you can discuss it. I'm not sure I'm following it. Cindy, you're up next.
I just wanted to ask when, Dorothy, when you made the treasurer's report, or maybe Sarah would answer this question, you said $9,000 reversal. And I wondered what that even means or what that is.
That would be
Sure. The month before, we had an entry that was a plus the 9,000 because it was money that had been received in the previous month, but we didn't post it until April. Now, this was just reversing it because it really had come the month before.
Okay.
So it just.
I just wanted to have it explained.
No problem.
The other one about
Good
the
question.
requirements for a water operator, I'm curious about that, and I think maybe a lot of people are curious about what that is. Are there standard requirements, minimum requirements that a water operator has to have, and can you summarize what they are?
Yep, so this is a grade 2 water treatment system. And I believe it is a grade 2 distribution. And they wanted to bump us up to a 3, but Randy worked them back down to 2. So you have to have a licensed operator here at least once a week. That's the minimum requirement.
Is that a state license?
With the state license. And the place would probably fall apart.
And that would be me.
So Joe is licensed.
I'm overqualified.
Good.
Yeah, we're both overqualified to be sitting here.
We love it.
Okay, Elaine, you had a question. You're up.
Actually, I think I had,
It was on the financial report.
oh,
The one I have. The
on the
$12,000.
financial report, there was over $12,000 in legal fees. What were those legal fees for?
The attorney was for the WIFA loan.
It was what?
The invoice was all for for requirements that he had to do for the WIFA loan.
I thought that was last month. Is that again this month?
No, it was, the check was in April. We talked about it briefly in the March meeting, I think, but it was not paid until April. So there was just the one invoice for 12,000 something.
Okay, and, again, Bob, I have sent an email and requesting a breakdown of the WIFA loan for the meters, and that would include, and you mentioned that in your, report, that the WIFA loan for meters is being completed. It was asking for a unit price per meter, and how much it was going to cost, for you to install each meter, which you're going to get paid for that, correct?
It'll go out for bid.
So,
WIFA will require us to go out for bid.
will you be able to bid on that?
I will be able to bid on that.
Okay, so, the potential is that you will be paid to replace the meters.
Right.
And then there was also the $250, owner, shut-off valve. And I didn't hear that in your report that you discussed that, you wanted, actually, you
Oh,
wanted
yes.
owner shut-off valves at a cost of $250 per. And my question was, who is going to pay the $250 per shut-off valve and who installs it?
So when it's a new meter install, the district installs the shut-off for the resident. Once we're done and have installed their lines going to their property, they take over that valve and the maintenance of it. But the district will install the valve.
But how much are we paying for the valve, the owner, user?
The cost of the valve's probably $75. You're paying just for the material.
Okay, and, how many meters exactly did you order through the WIFA loan?
I haven't ordered any yet.
How many are you planning on ordering?
We're off topic. I hate to interrupt, but we're off topic for several reasons. You haven't even finished the paperwork on this one.
Right.
We shouldn't even be discussing
Okay.
this.
It's in his report that he's doing it, so I think it's. an
That he
open
was
meeting.
doing paperwork on it. This is true.
Well, this is part of what he's applying for, I would think.
This is true. Anyway, it's off topic. It's not up
Okay.
for discussion until it becomes real, and it ain't real. Yeah.
Right.
And we're flat out of time. Mr. Watts, go ahead, since I saw your arm hanging up there.
Thank you. On number 10 agenda item about Calvary and Ironwood, Cox Cable's going through our town putting a new cable. And I don't know if you could coordinate with them when you're doing that neighborhood with new pipe, where we can dig that neighborhood up once instead of twice. And they might save money to the district. It just,
They've already went through that.
they already did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Totally different.
Okay, my last one, this meeting we have public call, and we've had 2 meetings without public call, and I would like it to be on a future agenda item. I think it's July, because we're going dark next month. To where the board will vote that from now on, you will always have public call and give the owner users a voice instead of not have public call. And I would like it to be an official thing the board votes on, that we always have public call. Thank you.
Okay, the time is 6:26. Our next meeting, since we are dark in June, is July